Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, we open the floor to the most important people at this webinar, and that, of course, is you. So please feel free to write in the chat box some questions that you may have. We'd be delighted to answer as many as we can in the few minutes that we have left of the webinar. So please do get your questions in. I certainly have a question I'd like to throw firstly to Edwin, who's been waiting patiently in the wings there. Edwin, I know certainly as potential investors in durian farming, and we hear so much about this, can you share why Sarawak agro parks are just so suitable in terms of durian farming for potential investors?
Yeah, thank you, Tina. You've been talking about durian all afternoon. All right. As I mentioned, we have a number of projects in the pipeline that is for the development of promoted crops. One of these is durian. Durian is very, very popular in Sarawak, and I believe also in Singapore and the rest of Asia. These areas that we have identified, some of them are good for durian plantation. Not all of them are good for durian, definitely, because we have different type of soil, different type of terrain, and so on. So definitely, those investors who like to keen to develop or go into durian plantation on a large scale, we can identify specific area that is suitable for this food crop to be planted in those areas. Like I said, not all the areas are suitable for durian, so we have to be specific on where are the areas. We have in fact identified those key areas that are available or good for durian plantation, Tina. Yeah, all right.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you for that. And before we let you go too far, Edwin, I've received another question for you, not about durian this time, however, about pig farming. And there's somebody asking, I am considering investing in pig farming strictly for my company's own export. In other words, not going through any existing anchor farm. Could you please answer, Edwin, what are the opportunities and the incentives that are now available?
Okay. Pig farming, again, is a new development in Sarawak in terms of the industry. Of course, traditionally, there are small farms all over the place. And now we have come up with a new development concept, new model, where we centralize the production of this pig, swine, right? So the first one, as I mentioned earlier on, we have one at Pasir Puteh, covering 800 hectares. That is a model that where we invite the private sector to operate as an anchor farm. And then all the other small farmers which are available throughout the town, not only in Sarawak, I think in other areas also, even in Semenanjung, Malaysia, there's several small farms available. So our concept of developing this pig farming area is to group them together in one area, and we have a private sector, one anchor farming company to operate it. That they will engage and collaborate with the other operators. Now, based with the question just now, where we have one company that wants to develop the area on their own, I believe we can explore that possibility. Like I said, we are flexible in our industry. We are not going to, when there is an interested investor, we will always try to welcome them and see what are their needs. How can we fit into what is their requirement? We welcome them to share with us so that we can explain properly, and then we will discuss further on that possibility. Tina, we will most welcome to we welcome them to perhaps contact us, be in touch with us, and we can explain some more. Right?
Excellent. Thank you, Edwin. Now, Edwin, we've got a question from someone who's asked about, we want to export from Sarawak to Singapore. What license should be applied? What is the criteria? And who should we ask for help?
The export of products to Singapore, of course, we have follow our normal procedures and policies. We need to go through the various authorities. Yeah, you need to have an export permit. Of course, go through various tests and so on of the product. In terms of safety, in terms of the security. I'm sure, for example, in Singapore is a very strict market. It has to go through the various channels in Singapore. The testing of the, for example, we are sporting meat or live animals. It goes through a various quite a rigid process. But then again, these are requirement of each country. In Sarawak, we are governed also by our authorities. We have export permits to be done, but that, like I said, our ministry will facilitate, will help them to go through all that. Yeah, we are here to help and to make it as seamless as possible. Right, Tina? No worries about that. Yeah,
Edwin, you are indeed a man in demand, because the next question is for one on your side, supply chain, CPPC. Where would the location for foreign company to set up support?
All right. Again, CPPC or collection, processing and packaging centers plan to be developed in strategic areas throughout the state. Normally, this will be, we have identified a few already along the highway where the producers or the farmers or the areas that we have identified will use this facility as a staging point for exporting the product that will be carried through the highway to the, for example, to the ports or to the airport. So these are just area or center where we collect all the products on a temporary basis before they are shipped to the export market. These are available, being planned now throughout as part of the supply chain. Apart from the CPPC, as I said just now, we are developing the food terminal. Now, this food terminal is another exciting development, similar to what we have in Canada and also in other countries. It's just like a warehouse, but it is a trading food, agriculture product trading warehouse. So there is a lot of market exporters and importers working in that area, participating in the food terminal area. So that is a new development. We will come up with more information on this later, Tina, and we welcome all the investors who are keen to be part of it later on.
Yeah, sounds wonderful. And hot off the presses, Edwin, there's a question that talks about what are the existing investment models available to foreign investors, and what is the maximum percentage shareholding available to foreign investors?
Just a minute, I just get some clarification. Okay, yeah. All right, Tina, yeah. For foreign investors, again, there are some guidelines to follow. Yeah, for those who are willing to participate or to take part of our investment here, one is through our joint venture. They are most welcome to look for a partner, a local partner. That is one model. That will be the easiest way, because we also would like to protect our local industry. So it will be advisable for foreign investors to identify a reliable local partner. We can always recommend, and we have we are aware of who are the strong players or the reliable partners here that we can joint venture with, right? Again, as I said, the quantum or the equity can be discussed between both parties. It can be both or a few more parties involved. Yeah, there's no we welcome proposal by them to make some proposal for us. Then we can pursue it further from there. Yeah, all right, Tina.
Thank you so much, Edwin. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, Chu, I might ask this particular question to you in terms of what are some of the potential challenges in investing in Sarawak, and how can these challenges be mitigated? Asks one of our attendees who is enjoying the webinar this afternoon. So maybe you can talk about that. How can these challenges be mitigated, Chu?
So depends on which area. For example, the agriculture area, probably Edwin agree with me, is probably certain volume of things. We need to increase our volume of productions. Once the volume of productions is increased, then it will reduce the cost for logistic when the volume is high. So I think there is chicken and egg things. One, we know the market and we increase the productions, then reduce the logistic cost. I think that is one thing that we are looking for in the future or in the near future. So of course, that is where I mentioned we may need to look into our logistics facilities as well.
Fantastic. I'm not sure, Chu, if you're the best person to answer this, but certainly allow me to ask you, does Sarawak government provide any incentives to the private sector that's keen to do export to Singapore? Do you know about that?
No, my answer is yes, definitely. I think each ministry has their own incentive for their areas. For example, I can talk about my STATOS here in Singapore. If anyone out there is interested from Sarawak want to export their products to Singapore, they can also look for us and apply a scheme called Promotion Assistance Scheme, which we are helping the SMEs either to do packaging, to do their brandings and marketing in Singapore in order to penetrate into this market. Of course, there is a form inside our website they can download and read through all the terms and conditions and talk to us, and we're happy to work with them. Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much, Chu. And really, I think something that's come through so loud and clear in all of our presentations and all of our Q&A is that Sarawak is really open for business. And there are so many wonderful opportunities, Chu, that people are now discovering that's really one of the wonderful close neighbours of Singapore.
Definitely. It's just 1 hour flight away from Singapore that you reach Kuching. And of course, there are many other places in Sarawak we can discover as well.
Yeah,
Well, I wish we can travel very soon, and we would love to bring more of our investors or friends from Singapore to visit Sarawak in the near future.
Yeah, fantastic. And I love the fact, Chu, that, you know, really Sarawak has become such a close favourite, almost like a brother or a sister to Singapore. And there are such many wonderful connections that are starting to be made. And certainly it's the time, isn't it? The time is now.
Time is now. Talk to us. And we come together and see what we can do together for the future.
Yeah, that's great. And the good news is, of course, that right here in this webinar, you'll find a number of email addresses and opportunities for you to connect. You'll notice that STATOS has given their details. And Manred have also given their details. Any of the questions further that you may have, continue to ask questions. We will capture the questions, and if yours has not been answered, indeed, we will make sure that you are answered by email. We want to thank everybody for being part of such a lively and interactive event, because this really does showcase the wonderful opportunities that are now available. We want to thank everybody who's been involved. Of course, Kenneth Sim, Sim, Mr. Chu Chang Guan, thank you so very much. Zulkarnain bin Mazron, Edwin Anak Abid, and Ivy Heng, also a wonderful speaker today who we were so inspired by. And I just want to thank each and every one of our speakers for joining us, for giving us some insightful information, and for really inspiring us to look to Sarawak for the wonderful opportunities that now lie at the doorstep of Singapore. But most importantly, can I thank each and every one of you for being part of such a great event. I just urge you all to keep the conversation going. Please reach out to all of those associations and government bodies that have such great information at their fingertips to share with you so that you can progress your wonderful investment opportunities in Sarawak. So with that, we thank you so very, very much. Please fill out the review form for SBF and download a copy of the presentations as well. And of course, STATOS is available in Singapore as your first point of contact for any assistance that you may have. I know that Chu and his wonderful team are standing by for any further questions, not just today, of course, but throughout and beyond the next few weeks to take any questions that you might have. Please be in contact with them at STATOS. So thank you once again for being with us. I wish you a wonderful evening and a rest of the day ahead. Please stay safe. From me, Tina Altieri, take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Mr. Chu.
Thank you. Any information, they can go to our website and our contact is there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.